At last, it's Saturday morning. It is now 9 o'clock in the morning, and that can only mean one thing. Yes! It's time for the Monster Magic Saturday Show! Let's do this!
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woohoo! Good morning, everybody. Almost immediately, you may have noticed that my hair has been cut. I will tell you more about that later on. That's a little bit of a hook, perhaps. But come on, let's get cracking. Let's do some Monster Magic reviews. And first up, we have Sharpshifter by Nicholas Lawrence. This has literally just come out. I've only had it very briefly, but I have been having quite a bit of fun with it. What you get in here isn't very much, and it was quite easy to be a little bit disappointed. And I think that might come from the fact that Nicholas Lawrence has disappointed me before. He seems to have big highs and also low lows. This for me has just been a little bit of a giggle to play with so far. What you get is basically a simple gimmick, and it enables you to do some pretty smart things thanks to Nicholas Lawrence's inventive thinking. You get 15 different routines, and it's all based around stuff that you can do with an ordinary Sharpie plus this gimmick. You can do a sort of sympathetic pen routine where you take a cap off one pen and it uncaps the other pen. You can do a little sort of dot, almost a double cross idea. There's some mentalism in there as well. There's a drawing duplication idea. There's a bending Sharpie routine. But I think what most people are going to be using it for is the sort of visual capping and uncapping of the pen, which is a lot of fun. And that's really all I've been using it for. Sharpies are used by every magician pretty much at some point during any other card routine. And unless you're going to go down the idea of Rick Merrill, if you watch Rick Merrill's DVD, The Champ, he does a lot of wonderful stuff with the Sharpie. So does Tom Crosby had, is it Pencredible? I think it might be called. Just lots and lots of different tricks you can do with a Sharpie. Craig Petty had the bit of his and Chop as well. And that sort of thing is really good fun. And what Nicholas has done with these 15 different routines, there's also 2 by Peter Turner as well, which I'll mention in a minute, has sort of invented something that you can either do a little quick bit at the end of a card routine if you wish, or if you take Peter Turner's advice, you can actually use it as the method for an effect, such as a card at any number or a book test. Or you can go down the lines and do some mentalism routines and some drawing duplications as well. And one of my favourites is a sort of pseudo hypnosis one where your spectator can't uncap the pen. So it's very, very inventive. What you're getting really, because it is quite pricey for what you get in this box. Let me show you what you get in the box. You get basically, well, I can't show you everything you get in the box, can I? I can't show you the gimmick, but most of this box is basically a Sharpie. And then you get the little gimmick. The tutorial is nicely split into chapters, and Nicholas starts off simply by showing you what the gimmick is. Then he teaches you how to handle it and the different routines you can go in to doing it. All of the handlings are pretty easy and often use the same common moves. You're just using them to create a slightly different effect. So no trick is particularly harder than any of the others, and you can simply just take your pick as to which ones you do. And it's just really the knack of controlling the gimmick, which isn't difficult at all. It simply takes practice, and it is a fun thing to practice, especially, you know, the capping and uncapping of the pen. Doing that in front of the mirror or on camera, you know, you can just amuse yourself quite nicely. It's a real case of taking a simple idea and a simple gimmick and exploring every avenue through Nicholas Lawrence's very creative mind. It is simply a brilliant thing to carry around. Whether you're a worker or a hobbyist, you can use it just for a quick gag at the end of your trick, or you can use it for one of the routines taught, or even a routine you've come up with for yourself. So it's kind of got this dual purpose, and it doesn't take up much pocket space, and you're carrying the Sharpie anyway. It's very practical, it's very versatile, it requires practice rather than any particular skill, so it's well within the reach of anybody. All 15 routines are fairly simple to do, and really without those 15 routines you might feel it's pricey, but with those 15 routines, and perhaps just the fact that they are going to feed your imagination and you might come up with some stuff on your own, it doesn't quite become a bargain, but perhaps value for money. That is Sharpshifter by Nicholas Lawrence. Next up, we have The Mark by Juan Pablo. Juan Pablo's been on a bit of a roll recently. He just released Mr. Gloves, which is constantly selling out, which is a great bit of fun. This is a card trick. It's based on the Virginia City Shuffle by Louis Falanga, which was published in Lake Tahoe Magic back in 1985. I like this book a lot. It's a little booklet which has got some real diamonds in it. Virginia City Shuffle being my favorite trick. I do it a lot. It's very similar to Martin Lewis's Sidewalk Shuffle, but you've also got Larry Jennings's Close-Up Illusion in here as well. What one has done has changed the routine slightly with the addition of putting a mark on the back of the cards, which is a pretty smart idea. So if you're not familiar with the effect, basically what happens is you show that you have 3 blank cards and an ace. You put the 1 blank card on the table and ask the person to find the ace, but they can't, and you point out that the ace is in fact on the table. You then put a mark on the ace, and then you put a mark on the blank card on the table. You rub out the one on the ace, and the card on the table turns into the ace. You then put a blank card face up on the table and turn the ace face up. You then show that the mark on the ace has now disappeared and has appeared on the back of the blank card on the table, and you now show that you have all aces. I love the Virginia City Shuffle. The nice thing is all of the cards can be examined. They're all ungimmicked. The cards are a little odd looking, mainly because they're supposed to have little mini whiteboards, and these are the aces. They're not rider backs or anything like that, but that doesn't matter. You don't get a whiteboard marker with it, so you have to provide your own. And the trick is very, very easy. And it really requires just 1 or 2 very basic moves. Even not even sure you can call them moves. It's a lot of fun to do, and it is really, really baffling. Like I say, when you show that you've got all blanks very cleanly right from the start, and then you show that they've all turned into aces, people want to grab the cards, they want to check them out. You know, I don't know if they know about mispicked cards or whatever they might be thinking, but it is great that you end clean. I'm not sure if it's because I love the original so much, but although the cross does add something, I don't know if it diminishes the effect a little bit, and maybe it makes it slightly more confusing than perhaps the cleanliness of a good clean Virginia City Shuffle. And I feel that might just diminish the impact a little bit, as people can lose track of exactly what's going on. The cards are somewhere in the middle between jumbo and regular size, so I wonder if they're meant to be parlor size. I'm not sure, but they're a bit bulky to carry around as well. So for me, although I was kind of attracted to the cross idea at the start, I now just think I would prefer to use my ordinary deck of cards, just take 4 cards around in my little packet trick wallet and do the Virginia City Shuffle as per Louis Falanga's teaching. The cards are certainly durable, but because of the whiteboard material, they don't handle like ordinary cards, and that takes a little bit of getting used to. But the trick is easy to do. You do end clean. It's just a little confusing for me, and it's a bit pricey. That is The Mark by Juan Pablo, $50.99. And now it's time for Sparkling Plus by James Wang. The original Sparkling came out in 2022, I believe. He says reading the box, because that is when the Wizard of Product Review made it their Worker Award 100%. The effect, if you don't know, is that you can make a bottle of champagne fizz and the cork fly out at your command. It is a pure magical effect. It really is jaw-dropping, not least because you've got the sound, you've got the fizz, you've got this cork flying. You know, there's a reason why champagne is used for celebrations, because it's a big moment when a bottle of champagne is opened. So it's a great trick to have it done at your command. They do give a couple of good presentations actually as well, which I'll come to. But what I shall show you, shall I show you what you get in here? I can show you a little, oh, hang on. What you get in here really is the cork and a couple of things for measuring your bottle, your champagne bottle or your Prosecco bottle, whatever it might be. There's something under here as well, which is all a bit secretive. If you're wondering what the difference is between this and sparkling, they are very, very similar. The difference is this cork. So the original sparkling had a very square cork. This one's more rounded. The curvature does make it a little bit more realistic, I think, and it's also supposedly a little bit stronger. The tutorial is an hour long and it's actually in Chinese, and most of it is in fact spent with the setup, the looking after it, the safety of it, and things like that. But there is a couple of presentations. One is simply a sort of mind control or miming, putting gas into the bottle. The other one that I quite like is getting someone to shake up a can of fizzy drink and then transposing the fizz from the can into the bottle. But you can come up with whatever you like. And once you've gone through the setup of it and the preparation, you are in complete control as to when that cork flies out of the bottle. It is a brilliant effect. The setup is a bit of a faff, but it is so worth it. And once that's done, you've got a very strong piece of magic that is very, very easy to do and a lot of fun to do. It's a really unique and novel effect that is about as far away from a card trick as you can get, and it's pretty much guaranteed to have amazing reactions, and it's just not something your spectators will have seen before or be expecting. I 100% agree that this really is a brilliant piece of magic. If you've got the original sparkling, then I don't think the difference is worth buying the plus at all. It's, you know, you've been doing sparkling fine, so why would you change? If, however, you haven't got the original and your pockets are deep enough and you find yourself in the proximity of bottles of champagne on a regular basis, then I think I can safely say you'll be wanting this. It is Sparkling Plus by James Wang, $159.99. Now, the reason my hair is as it is because on Thursday night I did a little lecture at the Sussex Magic Circle after their close-up card competition, and I was lucky enough at the end of the evening to sit down and spend some time with the winner of the card competition, Sam Jones. So I am here at the Hazzocks Hotel in deepest Sussex at the Sussex Magic Circle, where I've had the best pleasure I've had for a long time in watching their card magic competition. And it was a very, very high standard, I have to say. But one person was head and shoulders above the rest, and that was Sam Jones. I mean, there is a big crowd here. I really thought they'd whip up a bit more enthusiasm for Sam. So there were 7 entrants. It was all card magic.
It was.
Which is pretty exposing, isn't it? It's not quite as exposing as coin magic, but are you a card... You're not a card magician, though, are you?
No. Well, yes and no. I do card magic, but I mostly don't do card magic.
And so why on earth did you enter a card magic competition?
Because I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone, and it's my mother's birthday today, and she really wanted me to, so I thought, well, I can't let her down.
I know, word was out. That was why all the scores went up, just to please your mother. How does it feel to win?
Feels really good. Feels I've never won anything like this, but I've never competed in any kind of magic thing before. So yeah, really proud of what I've done.
And it's getting out of your comfort zone. So one of the nice things I like about, especially if you sort of got something different that you've kind of accepted it as, you know, a date in the diary. Did that push you to start getting right? Okay, I've got to come up with something by this date, and then suddenly.
Yes. When it was mentioned that there was going to be a card competition, I had something in mind, which is my own little silly routine that I've been doing for a while. I thought that's pretty good, but then I needed to add something else into it. Yeah, it's been, to be honest, I've not been putting the act together for a very long time. It's just trying to find the right things to put into it. And yeah, it all paid off in the end, and I was really pleased with it. So yeah, I think the pressure of having that date set to do it definitely. I've got to be honest, I was very nervous. I've done big things, you know. I've done some big. Tell
us about the big things you've done.
Oh, you don't want to know about the big things.
Come on.
Well, I was on Britain's Got Talent about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I was only a child. So that's a big thing.
How far did you get?
I got into the semi-finals.
So when you see, so did they contact you and said, would you do it? Or did you go, I want to do Britain's Got Talent? And
I never wanted to do Britain's Got Talent. I was contacted, and I said, actually, I was contacted. I did the show when I was 21, but I was contacted for it since about the age 16. As a lot of entertainers are, they do their research. And I just kept saying no. Eventually, I gave in. I did it. I got into the semi-finals. But either way, today I was way more nervous than I think I was when I did that.
Okay, but then so you did a novel take on Sam the Bellhop.
I did. Yeah.
And you kind of introduced it as it. Well, you sort of said why you.
Yeah. I think with the way I put the act together, which is actually a routine that I've been performing in my live stage shows on a projection screen for years. But when I put it together originally, I wanted it to make sense. I think the thing about Sam the Bellhop is I've always seen it get great reactions when other magicians do it. It's always brilliant, and I love it as a routine. I just never understood what the point of it was. I don't think I've ever seen a magician explain what they're doing and why they're doing it. Are they shuffling the cards into the right place to get it to match the story? I've seen magicians just take out a pack of cards and just not even do any kind of shuffles, just do it. And to me, it wasn't magical. It was just a nice storytelling routine. But I wanted to make it at least seem like there was some skill involved.
So the trick, just explain the trick.
Yeah, so it's based on, I believe Scott Alexander had something very similar, as did Justin Flom and others, where it's done with music. But I've never seen, whenever I've seen someone do the bellhop routine to music, where you're dealing out the cards and they're matching whatever numbers are being said in the lyrics of the songs. Whenever I've seen someone do that, they're always either using 2 decks, they're using double cards, they're not necessarily using a full deck of just 52 cards plus jokers. So I wanted it to be just a deck of cards, 52 cards, 2 jokers, all the way through, so that the pack could essentially be handed out at the end. Yeah. And but the thing is, it starts off with the pack being sealed. I open it up in front of the audience. I tear through the sticker bit, and then I go through explaining about how I'm going to use my skills to control the cards into the right places for the track. I'm proud of it because I think it took me a long time putting the music together to work out which songs use the right amount of numbers to add up to the total of a deck of 52
Yeah,
cards.
so it is a mashup of songs. So you obviously got your 99 red balloons.
Yeah,
I quite like that because that was hearts as well, which kind of looked like balloons, which was kind of good. Got the Joker, obviously. It was a complete mix of songs. I can't claim to recognise some. I'm probably too old for some of them.
To be honest, I don't recognise some of them myself. Yeah, I put it together. Google was my friend.
And so stage shows are what you do.
Stage shows are what I enjoy doing, probably most. I am a close-up entertainer. I do close-up magic, your normal kind of things. I also do kids entertaining.
And you're a ventriloquist, right?
I am a ventriloquist.
You are one.
Well,
obviously.
well.
You obviously never stop.
Yeah, I don't claim to be a ventriloquist. I'm a magician who does magic shows with some ventriloquism added in.
But did you start off? So a lot of people start off with children's entertaining because, in theory, it seems quite easy. But generally speaking, the tricks are quite easy. But you've got to present them so well that you don't have 30 rowdy kids throwing their ice creams at you. So it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination.
It's a different kind of difficult. Yeah.
Is that how you got into it?
So when I was 4 years old, I had a magic a magic trick given to me for my birthday. And when I was 5 years old, I had a birthday party. A magician came to that, and I caught the bug. And then I started doing kids shows, first of all, when I was about 11 years old. And I wasn't much older than the kids who were having the parties, but that was how I started. I'd get 20 quid for a 2-hour show, which was great. All my friends, little sisters and little brothers, they all had me for their birthday parties and stuff.
What were you doing? What tricks were you doing?
Oh, back then, if I remember correctly, so there's some pretty good. I'd change bag with handkerchiefs, I did linking rings, which I don't do in my kids' shows anymore. I did some ventriloquism.
Can you remember the name of the magician that you saw at your birthday party?
Oh, yeah, Brian Eames. Yeah, Brian Eames. I had him when I was my 5th birthday, and then my parents booked him again for my little sister's birthday, and then, of course, all my friends who were at the parties had them for their birthdays. And yeah, he was sensational. When I was a child, it's so funny. He did Punch and Judy. And,
brilliant.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Have you ever had a proper job?
No, I've never had a proper job. I am obsessed, absolutely obsessed with magic. So no, I've never wanted a proper job. I just do magic.
And so your mum is obviously very encouraging to let you slip out on her birthday.
Yes, yeah.
But at any point did she go, listen, Sam, you're a grown man now?
No. My parents have always been really supportive. I must have been about 4 years old when I knew I wanted to be a magician, or at least some kind of entertainer. And they've always been so supportive. My parents used to drive me up and back to the magic circle for the Young Magicians Club. I used to, they've always been really, really great about it all. So today, with my mum's birthday, it's absolutely no surprise that she'd want me to, do this. And yeah, the thing is, I was absolutely terrified, and I think the fact my mum wanted me to do it for her birthday was what pushed me mostly to do it. I wanted to make her proud.
And how do you feel now?
I feel stupid for feeling so nervous, but I'm also very proud. I'm very proud. I think I'm really happy that I won. I'm really...
Have you told your mum?
No, I can't wait to tell her.
Go on, wake her up. Give her a call.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm really excited to tell her. I'm really, really happy with how it went. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well done, Sam.
Thank you so much.
Very well deserved.
Thank you. Nice dressing.
Sam Jones, everybody. Next up, it's a blast from the past. It is WoW 3 Face Up. WoW has been around for donkeys. I can't even remember when it came out. It took the world by storm. I think a lot of people are quietly still using it, perhaps, but doesn't seem to be half as popular as it really should be. If you're not familiar with it, the effect is that you have a card selected and signed, lost in the deck. You then put an indifferent card inside the wow card slip, and then with a little wave of your hand or a magical gesture, it turns visibly into their signed selection. You can then pull it out and show that that is the only card in the slip. It is, I mean, it's a brilliant, brilliant effect. The only thing that people ever struggle with is how to explain this funny looking object. But I think it flies without any explanation, to be honest. I mean, it's transparent, it's clearly plastic, you can see through it. There's very little inspection needed. What I would say is a lot of people say that it's just a badge holder that you get with a lanyard and things like that. You can go with it what you will, or just not mention it and put the card in. It's clearly empty as it is, so the fact that you can then make it appear that there are cards in there is just brilliant. It is very, very easy to use, but I hadn't watched the tutorial for a long time, and they do give some nice little handling tips as well, particularly how to hold the gimmick. They also teach you how to store the gimmick, which is simply by using this sleeve and cutting off the excess plastic, which makes me wonder why they bothered with the excess plastic in the first place. But it is so versatile. So they teach the very simple routine of putting an indifferent card in here and having it change into the signed selection. But many people have visited this gimmick and come up with, you know, half an hour's worth of material. Steve Valentine, I know, does a lot with the gimmick. Dave, the old prop dog Dave, used to use this as well when he was working. And I'm surprised actually that someone like Craig Petty hasn't taken this and done a full hour on it. Can easily add a nice visual moment to just about any card trick. I will say there are a lot of cheap knockoffs around, and until you hold the Masuda one, if you compare the two, you can easily tell the difference in quality. I think it's a super little thing and really should be up there and as popular as things like Double Cross that everyone seems to be doing. I really think more people should be cracking out their WoW 3s and doing some real visual stuff with them. Let your imagination run riot, have some fun. I think this is a really underrated, underutilized gimmick. That is WoW 3 by Masuda, $33.99. And finally, we've got the Houdini deck by Defata. I used to have this. This is one of the first tricks I ever bought. Not this version. One of the first card tricks I ever bought. It's virtually self-working, and I think it is still really, really strong and really, really clever. What you have in here is a deck of cards. Is a deck of cards with a hole in one corner, and the idea is you go through the cards, you flip through the cards, spectators say stop wherever they like, they have a look at that card, they check it out, you then pop this padlock. This padlock, it's a big heavy padlock, it's hard to get out of the box, through the holes, hand it to your spectator. They go through the cards, they fan through the cards, they can't see the card they have just picked. It has vanished from this deck despite being locked with the padlock, and you can then pull that card out of any envelope or your pocket. I used to be turned around and I used to have it on my forehead. It is a really, really simple trick, but it works, and I've just had some really good reactions from it over the years that I just thought I'd mention it. I'm sure it's going to get passed over. It's nice that you get the padlock with it. It's a bit of a pain for me with shipping, but it's all good to go, and it's virtually self-working. And all you've got to do is to decide where you want their chosen card to appear. The best bit is that they are fanning through these cards, searching for their card. They have literally just seen it. You've done no funny moves. You've just put the padlock through the hole. The one drawback is that it's always going to be the same card that they see, so you can't really repeat it for the same group of people. It's not going to win you FISM, but I think it's a really good trick. That is the Houdini deck by Defata 2099. And that's it for this week, I'm afraid. I do hope you've enjoyed the show. It looks like the good weather is back with us, so there's no excuse. Go on, grab some magic, get out there and have some fun with the best hobby in the world. Bye-bye.